Hello, everyone, and welcome to another amazing episode of Sphere of Success, where we look at challenges and adversity in business and help to reframe those into a way in which we can look at positivity, that our business can grow, and that we can develop as well from a personal perspective. And today I have with me the CEO with the Midas touch. Everything this gentleman touches absolutely goes crazy. Brilliant. Profitability goes through the roof. So I know you'll want to talk about this. It's not all plain sailing. So he'll have some stories to tell, no doubt, of when things have got tough and he's had to roll his sleeves up. We have with us the chief executive of Ooodles, and that is spelt with three O's. Now, Ooodles are an IT procurement platform with embedded finance and logistics. They also have open API software that tracks all of the devices throughout the employees, the offices, and throughout multiple locations. He's also grown a 300 million euro global accounts business with Sony Ericsson. And also, he's worked with Jawbone and he helped them to become number one customer in Amazon. So this is absolutely fantastic. His reputation speaks before him. I know he's a very modest man and won't particularly enjoy me saying all of this, but it's absolutely wonderful. Leonardo Poggiali, thank you so much for being on the show. It's wonderful to have you.
Hi, Deborah, and thanks for inviting me. And looking forward to have a good conversation with you and share my learnings with your community.
Fantastic, Leo. Thank you so much. And from the perspective of what really got you engaged with the idea of wanting to work with Oodles, what was it about them that really lit that entrepreneurial spirit in you?
Most of the times, passion for IT and technology. I come from a background where I've seen the evolution of desktops into laptops, laptops into mobile phones. I've seen the evolution of e-commerce and mobile phones and e-commerce blending together. And I've seen what IT and technology can do in terms of democratizing access to education, information, what technology can do to the society, to businesses, to the economy. Of course, sometimes with side effects, like anything, but I'm very passionate about technology and IT. And the idea of giving small, medium enterprises all-in-one solution to access this technology with the highest level of flexibility was what convinced me to launch Ooodles together with my co-founder and CTO, Kana.
This is wonderful. What did you see then in the organization? Because change in the IT industry is almost like when you get something, it's obsolete. What did you see in the life cycle of the organization that you could see this now moving forward in a very rapidly changing marketplace?
Good question. So we all know we live in a digital world, and we know that AI is coming, but all this will run on a piece of hardware. That ain't going away. As a matter of fact, you might want to say that for a professional, for a company of any size, you cannot start your day, you cannot start your week with two things: broadband or internet connection and an hardware, a piece of IT device that allows you to connect. It's even more business critical than a bank account, because if you cannot interact with your customers, you cannot do business, and you're not going to invoice. You don't need to worry about the bank account. So we're talking about a business critical element which connects you and your objectives. And even if hardware in IT space is becoming better and better and has a longer life cycle, the reality is that all these AI services, cloud-based services, are pushing the boundaries to the next level, and is more important than ever to stay on the latest technology on a sustainable way. And that's what Ooodles is all about. So not forcing everyone to use the same laptop 5, 6, 7 years, but making sure that this laptop will have a 7, 8 years life cycle with the right person, the right time. I make an example. A laptop that works for me for the first 2 or 3 years might not be fitted for purpose after that, but is very good for a junior employee, and after that for a student. So is bringing the linear economy to circular economy and extending the life cycle of the device, not to the single professional, but to a different user.
This is very interesting, and I'd like you to go into more detail about this because it sounds an absolutely fantastic concept that you're bringing to place, especially for the SMEs, because I know that Ooodles is directly related to the SME marketplace. Could you let us know a little bit about the actual process of how this happens so that you understand how you're guiding and helping your clients to optimize the use of equipment and how they interact with you to be able to get the best optimized service from you with regards to what they're using from you?
Yeah, and the best way to do that is describing the customer journey. So if you are running a small or medium-sized business, your first questions when it comes to IT is, I need to procure laptops, mobile phones, monitors. So the first need is, where do I get these products from? Do I go for Apple? Do I go to Dell? Or is there anyone there who gives me a multi-brand, only one solution? The second thing is, okay, I've identified the procurement solution. I'm at Ooodles. The second thing is, do I need financing with it? Am I going to pay upfront? Am I going to pay monthly? Do I want to buy or do I want to lease? And that's the second question that the second option the customer will find on our platform. Once you have identified us and the devices and the financial solution that fits your needs, the next thing is the services on top. Do you need repair? Do you need a loan unit in case something goes wrong? Do you need insurance? Do you need pre-configuration? Do you need us to store the device between employees coming and going? And all these services are chosen per device and can be stopped at any time. And once all this is sorted, the buy versus leasing, the services you need, how do you track all these units? These are, as we said, business critical assets. You should be on top of it at any point of time across teams, locations, offices, and remote workers. Tracking this in Excel is not the best way. There are some enterprise solutions out there that are very, very expensive. That's why Ooodles provide online dashboard where all the devices that are procured from us, regardless of being purchased or leased, they pop up in your dashboard and you can assign them to team and you can see at any point of time where the device is, who is using it, and if that device is going through a logistic service through us. So that's the journey. And this is how the customer discover our service and fall in love with it.
It sounds too good to be true, but it isn't, because this is just such an amazing game changer for organizations, knowing that they can have state-of-the-art equipment, especially through your leasing service, which is allowing them to keep updated. One of the things I'd like you to unpack here is, under what type of circumstances do people get the best use out of this equipment? Because I know I'm formulating some concepts and ideas, but I'd really like to hear from you, perhaps some case studies where you've had users in different types of fields and different requirements use the product to its greatest advantage.
Definitely. So it starts with the type of business you run. If you are, for instance, an architect firm, you're probably working with very high-end, expensive devices, and renewing those devices on a regular basis is very, very important. If you run a marketing agencies, you still need good devices, but the pain point is more of the fact that your workforce has a high turnover. Lots of consultant employees coming and going. So more than being at the very, very latest high-end technology is more like managing the flexibility of this flexible workforce and moving those things at the click of a button. If you are a law firm or an accounting firm, You don't need like very, very expensive devices. You don't need, maybe you probably don't have a high rotation in your workforce, but security, stability, and a prompt replacement of unit is important. So every different customer, every different business use our service in different ways. There are companies who have 300 employees, for instance, and within the same type of business, they have different needs. I'll make an example. If they have a call center with 50 employees, they probably need entry-level solutions, entry-level monitors, entry-level desktops, and they can probably purchase or lease them for 5, 6, 7 years. But within the marketing team, they look more like a marketing agency, mid-tier devices with high rotation. So hopefully I answered your questions, but it's a solution that adapts to the business needs and make sure that no professional, no team, no company is stuck within a hardware which is not fit for purpose, because that's bad for you as a business, it's bad for the employee, for the customer, and even for the planet, because that device can probably have a better use somewhere else. And that's where we come in with our circular solution.
And so, with regards to the people who would be the ones liaising with you in the organization, do you find that you're dealing with procurement, you're dealing with IT, you're dealing with sales teams? Just give us a breadth of the types of people that you're dealing with as far as your interactions within the organization.
Normally, the conversation starts with a senior person in the organization who is frustrated with their current IT setup, either with their current IT procurements or the fact that we are dealing with 4, 5, 6 different companies for one single need, which is what we provide. And that person can be a chief financial officer, a head of finance, a head of IT, a chief technology officer. If you are a startup, quite often directly the founder and MD. So the conversation normally starts with a senior person. And then when that person had the conflict, like, okay, this solution is different, this solution suits our needs. We love this all-in-one place. We love the flexibility. We love the circularity, sustainability. We love the fact that this is going to cost us less money than what we do today. Then they tend to delegate either the procurement team or the IT team. And that's when they come in charge. Ultimately, though, when everything's up and running, there is probably someone in IT who is managing the Ooodles platform on a daily basis.
And then thinking about the cost savings, which is paramount when we're faced with escalating costs across the board. Let's say, for instance, and I'll take from an example that I know very well, a management consultant company, and we get a great project, and we start with needing to get a team on board, which could be 100 to 200 people, it might be less, might be more. And then we're faced with how do we equip them with the technologies that they will need to work with a particular client on this project, but knowing that we're only going to be in there for like 3, 6, 9, 12 months. What can Ooodles do in that scenario to ensure that you take people through the most efficient, effective, and cost-effective way of actually handling a project like that?
So true cost of ownership is a science on its own. And if there are any financial analysts out there, they can probably, go deeper than me. But true cost of ownership needs to be understood thoroughly to answer that question. In the sense that, let's make an example. If a mid-tier laptop has a cost of £1,000, excluding VAT, that's not just it. The cost of ownership is the cost of capital, is the fact that, if you buy 100 of those laptops, 5, 10, 12%, they might end up being in IT room because of people changes or business changes. That needs to be factored in. Another cost is who's going to be managing repair, who's going to managing logistics when required, who's going to take the device from Leo from Office 1 and ship to Deborah Office 2 if needed. So the true ownership needs to be look in end to end. And to answer your questions, if the business has short-term leads, quite often the best answer is our flexible short-term leads, meaning that you select a 3, 6, 9-month solution under a end-to-end lifecycle platform. Think of a car rental. You pay for what you need. Ooodles will be responsible for your hardware end-to-end, and at the end of the lease, we return the product. If the usage is much longer, like 2 or 3, 4 years, that's where you might evaluate our purchase option versus flexible option and still add on all the services required. So short-term quite often is a lease option. Long-term is a buy option with our Ooodles Flex and Ooodles Plus add-on, which is this digital subscription with additional services.
You see, this is a game changer, isn't it, in business? Because you're not reliant upon buying everything in, keeping the cost of it, and then thinking, what am I going to do? And also having a depreciating asset in that sense as technology improves and the products that you've bought aren't matching up to even the cost that you purchased them for. So this is, I would advise anybody to have a chat with you who's thinking about in any regard in their business, because you offer so many flexible packages. It's wonderful to see that you can help, I would say, pretty much in all circumstances to suit the client's budget and their cost effectiveness and also their cash flow situation as well, which I should imagine that is having a significant impact for small businesses on an almost, and I use the word without the technical element of it, but as a pay-as-you-go kind of scenario on that lease element, you know exactly who are every month, and you haven't had to put out a lot of capital investment in the front end, which is got to be good news for a lot of people right now. And with regards to ongoing enhancements with the business, with the onset of clients' requirements changing, etc., what are you looking to the future with Ooodles to maybe come on board with different service provision, different innovation that you're going to be bringing in?
So the first thing we were launching today is the buy option. So as I mentioned, our clients love our flexible leasing, but sometimes you need to purchase and they want to use all our services. So that's one thing we're launching today. Other things that we are going to be releasing beginning next year is the opportunity to use the Ooodles dashboard, which is the online platform to track devices across teams, location, and remote workers for all of IT, even when the IT is not under our management. So the dashboard is going to be on a subscription basis, and clients who are not in Europe or in the UK or simply wants to start testing us, not on the procurement, logistic, financial side, but on the device management side, can test our software by paying a monthly amount. That's another thing in the pipeline, and other things that will help businesses potentially take a product somewhere and bring it to the platform at the click of a button, without necessarily procuring from us.
Wow, this is amazing. The value that you're adding is absolutely superb. And as we're talking about value and we're talking about service, what does Ooodles have for its clients to make sure that there is a seamless service going on in the background so that with all of this, you've got somebody that you can talk to at the end of the day so that, your systems, your processes, your challenges can be met with somebody who knows what they're talking about at the other end?
So that is resolved with two approaches. The first approach is the customer journey and the digital UX UI. So how easy it is for you as a customer to ask and action X, Y, and Z. X, Y, and Z can be, I need a new laptop delivered tomorrow. I need to book this configured laptop delivered for 1st of Jan because Deborah is starting as an employee, or emergency, the laptop is broken, I need a replacement. So it all starts by digitalizing and making the journey very, very simple, updating your user journey and your flow on a weekly, monthly basis. And then there is what happens in the background. In the background, there is real logistic flow. And for that one, we work with experts in the industry. So for each specific element, could be the last mile of delivery, or can be the shipment, the long shipment from the main warehouse to your city, or repair, or data erasure, or refurbishment. We integrate with companies which operate on the territory and specialize in one specific thing, without you having to worry about multiple touch points. So digital front end, making your user journey very simple, Amazon-like, and a very complex web of partners that are integrated in that journey.
And you mentioned that you are dealing with the domestic market here in the UK, but you also mentioned Europe as well. So could you let us know about the locations that you're currently servicing?
So we serve UK-based businesses on the entire UK territory. As of November, we also expanded our service to Ireland, mostly pulled in by UK businesses who have an office in Ireland, and they asked us to extend every service over there. As you know, Ireland is, of course, part of the EU, which also represents a logistic platform to extend our deliveries to the existing clients in other areas in Europe. But right now, it's UK-based clients, Irish-based clients, with the opportunity to deliver across Europe in the coming months. But one step at a time, I would say.
Absolutely. Which then leads me into the question from the basis of now how your ability to scale. You're based in the UK. You have a team of how many employees now does Ooodles have?
We are roughly 20 people.
Okay, so you're doing all of this with 20 people, which seems a super efficient use of your workforce. How do you see that growing in the future?
AI will do a lot in the sense that we don't want for our employees to be focused on repetitive tasks. There are tasks that can be automated, and we are the only company we know out there who runs this operation with its own full tech stack. And let me break it down for you. We don't depend on external software. We don't depend on Salesforce, on Oracle, SAP, or Shopify. We're the only company we know in this space who runs on his own end-to-end stack, which basically means that we can operate a level of automation. We can embed AI like many other companies will struggle to, which means that we can deliver a better service and scale without necessarily hiring hundreds of people doing repetitive tasks. Putting numbers into perspective, we think that we could grow 3x with only hiring 5 or 6 people.
Wonderful. And anybody out there who's listening as a business owner looking to scale, just from that mere fact alone, do have a chat with Leo and how you can actually look at your infrastructure and your tech and your IT requirements, because Leo's absolutely got this nailed. It's lovely to see that you are embracing the technologies available to you. And with that side of the AI process, it would be interesting to hear from your perspective how you're going to now take this forward into the future for Ooodles and use AI as a mechanism for growth and service within your organization.
So first of all, I need to share that credit my co-founder and CTO, Canon Rego, the best CTO I've worked with in my entire professional life, and he's the person with the magic wand and making all this happen. So, but to talk about AI, the best way to answer that question is to listen to the NVIDIA CEO, to the Dell CEO. They are every day on the news, on Bloomberg and so on, and you probably heard them. They are saying one thing over and over and over. They are sending a clear message, and the message is, if you are an executive and you're running a business, it doesn't matter the size, you will have to reinvent your IT approach your tech stack and hardware requirement the next 3 years, dot. This is what they're saying all the time. So again, AI is coming, but this revolution will require a different approach, will require different tools, will require you to upgrade different hardware. And we start to see this AI automating the interaction between customers and the right department. I'll make an example. Until now, we all experience of making a phone call and spending 10, 15 minutes on a call center trying to figure out who is the right person who can help me. AI, can elaborate my inquiry vocally or written and using internal data points saying, I don't need to bring Deborah through a 10, 15 minutes queue, right? Their problem can be handled by that person in that department and cutting down, cutting down the lead time. So that's one solution. Klarna, probably everyone knows Klarna, the big buy now pay later, has made a lot of noises in the last 12 months because one of the reasons they reached profitability is because they have automated a lot of the customer service direction, making sure that the customer was going straight to the solution and the person dealing wasn't just passing the phone call to another. Another area where we're going to see a lot of automation is probably sales and marketing. Again, almost think about Match.com, AI used to match the right customer to the right service provider. There is a lot of space there, and we're going to use some of the technology. And I'll stop there because, I'm not an AI expert as such. I'm an AI expert in the field we play. But those are a couple of interesting examples that I think will resonate with the audience and your community.
Thank you. And then thinking about Ooodles' ideal client, if you're out there and you're speaking as you do on many occasions with businesses, business communities, etc., who would resonate with you the most as an organization? Who can you add the most value to?
Any company needs laptops, monitors, tablets, and IT devices, but our service is targeted to small, medium enterprises. So we're talking about companies who go from 5, 10, 20 employees up to 300, 500. We have a lot of success with marketing agencies, e-commerce agencies, architects, production media companies, startups, tech companies, manufacturing companies who have a strong tech component. We have good success with law firms and accounting firms. So those are the most common clients as of today.
And if you were saying that there was a key differentiator within Ooodles that really makes you streets ahead of all of your competitors, what would it be?
The level of flexibility. As a matter of fact, since Ooodles launched a couple of years ago, suddenly a lot of other players start talking about flexibility, but we walk the talk. Flexibility in the sense that if you use our flexible option, you will only pay for the device you need, and you will never, ever see devices piling up in a tea room or force an employee to work on a device which is not fit for purpose. So that's what makes us very different. The vision is to make your IT hardware portfolio as flexible as a cloud-based service, and not getting stuck with the hardware which are not useful, or you're paying for, or you're on a balance sheet and not deploying the maximum output for your business.
Or indeed, as you say, and you've lost it somewhere and you've no idea where it is anymore because your open API tracking software will ensure that on your dashboard, as you say, you can see everything and who's using it as well, which is incredibly important. How would you say from a point of view of security that you deal with your clients? Because of course, we hear every day of issues with data breaches, IT issues, etc. What kind of security have you got in place to have peace of mind for your clients?
So we operate with the highest level of security. We are GDPR compliant. My co-founder CTO is an expert in the field. We data raise the products that come back at military grade. We provide a certificate for it. Our dashboard as an OTP, a one-time password solution every time you log in. We have prompt in case we see something questionable. Of course, security is not it's a moving target, right? But we operate at the highest level, and so far we've been able to protect our customers' data with 100% integrity.
Oh, that's good to hear because it's always good to know that you have everything in place and you're continually testing that so that you know that your clients are receiving the very best level of security possible. And that's fantastic. Leo, you have just been amazing. I've been inspired by what you've talked about, and it sounds like the future for Ooodles is incredibly bright, that you are really on that upward trajectory of being in that flexible space with IT. People are looking now, I believe, from a decentralized situation where they can have that flexibility within organizations to be agile, not just in their business and their processes, but also from now you're saying within their IT, their tech, their hardware, which is a wonderful value added service that you're helping businesses with. I know that this is going to be an intriguing and inspiring way of helping your clients. How can people get hold of you, Leo?
So probably the easiest way is to reach out on LinkedIn. Follow me or ask for a connection, send me a message. You can also reach out on the website, oodles.com, 30. Place an inquiry, send us an email, or email us directly at sales@oodles.com. And myself or the sales team will reach out to tell you more about our service and see if we can help you with your IT hardware needs.
That's fantastic. And everybody is Oodles with three O's. Oodles.
Exactly.
Absolutely. Yes. That got me at the first time. And I thought, oh, yes, there's an extra O in there. So please do remember that when you're getting in touch with Leo. And thank you, Leo. You've been an amazing special guest. It's been a pleasure to have you. Thank you so much for being on the Sphere of Success podcast.
Thank you, Deborah, and wish everyone a successful 2025.
Oh, absolutely. We're coming up for that time of year, aren't we? Absolutely. And everybody listening, thank you so much. This wouldn't be the same without you. I do value every single person that tunes in and listens to us. So please like, comment, and subscribe, share, because you never know if it's not resonating with you, it might resonate with one of your friends, family, colleagues, business, community, etc. So please do spread the word because this is very much the way of the future. And Oodles is an brilliant company. I've had a wonderful experience with Ooodles myself. I can absolutely say that it works like a dream. They do exactly what they say on the tin and totally authentic. So I would definitely be in touch with Leo. He's a great guy too. You'll find a friend. It's no way will you get overwhelmed with tech talk. He keeps it very simple and makes sure that you completely understand. He's very, very clear in what he says. So until next time, thank you so much. And if you're new to listening, it's a pleasure to have you with us. Until next time, be successful. Take care. Bye bye, everybody.